What are we talking about? Sir Grace Ghastly.
Hello, I'm Steve.
I'm
That's
Danielle.
Danielle.
Who knew we were recording at the moment? I was straightening my clothes and carrying on. Okay, anyway.
So we were just having a discussion about decisions while in transition.
Decision while in transition.
And so we've been having some questions that have come up in our life about some decisions that we have to make. And so we've been, kind of talking to each other. We've been talking, praying, seeking out wise counsel, that kind of thing. And so she had the question of how do you make those decisions when you're going through, when you know you're coming up on a time of transition, when you know you have to make some very difficult decisions, or maybe even some decisions that have a far-reaching impact, right? And so she was just talking about how do you begin that process and how do you, do that.
Right. He keeps catching me off guard. So anyway, I was just talking about how we are, and I think that sometimes you can feel in the atmosphere that something's about to change. And I believe that God always prepares you for whatever it is that's to come. So if you have a decision that you're trying to, or you're going to have to make, there has been some preparation and before the decision has to be made. It's almost like the teacher. The Bible talks about the teacher sitting back after you've already gotten everything that you need, and watching to see what you're going to do once you're given the test. And so I believe that in this decision making, or this time that we're living in, God has already prepared us.
Well, yes. He's made the knowledge, information, and wisdom
That's
available.
what I'm talking about. Yes.
He's made it available.
Yeah.
Right?
And so he gives you everything that you need in order to make a good decision. So we just have to take advantage of that. So even within the fact that you were just saying the wise counsel, it's always good to have somebody that you can talk to about any decisions that you're going to make. Of course, you're going to always pray about it and seek the Lord. And I believe that he brings confirmation through that counsel, through different things that happen to you in your life to confirm what he would have for you to do for the best future for you and your family.
And that and what we're saying is predicated on you being a servant of the Most High God and having a relationship with him, such that, because he's always talking, but you have to always be listening. You have to have your ear, your spirit tuned to what he's saying. Most people walk around with an air of they know it all. That's what most people do. And so then when the counsel comes, they tend to not follow it because they think they know. And especially within this age that we live in now, where people have put YouTube above books and studying and age-old wisdom and age-old knowledge that has been tested and time again. YouTube is just like, that's their profit now. It's YouTube. YouTube tells them now, hey, this is what you should do. This is what you shouldn't do.
Right.
But the problem with YouTube is that those people's knowledge is shallow. Very, very shallow. If you ask them, ask them, how many books have you read? Where's your knowledge base coming from? I bet you they read 3 books. Dr. Seuss was one of them.
Are you
And what's the one with the little chicken? It was one with the chicken,
God, no.
or whatever. But in the monkey one, the one with the monkey.
The monkey's on the bed.
Yeah, no, the other guy with the guy with the yellow suit on.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, they read that. That's their 2 books right there.
Oh,
Dr. Seuss and the monkey with the guy in the yellow suit. Whatever his name is.
Oh, come on!
But here they're
George.
Curious George. That's it. These people on YouTube, that's their knowledge base is Curious George.
So we just want you guys to be prepared for when decisions have to be made. And so what we also realize is that the decisions that we make today affect so many people and so many things along the way. And so a lot of times we draw back from even making decisions because you're afraid that it's of the effect that it's going to have in the future. But drawing back and not making a decision is already a decision made.
Yes, it's a decision.
And so you might as well make a good decision.
And try to pull your emotions out of it.
Right.
Okay, I always talk to people about pulling out your emotions and making the decision with your brain and not your heart. God did not intend for you to make decisions with your heart. The Bible says that the heart is deceitfully wicked. Okay, who can know it? So for real, you want to make decisions with that? No, you want to use your brain. You want to use the counsel that is around you. The Bible talks about not taking ungodly counsel. Okay, over in the first chapter of Psalms. Right in the first and second verse. So you want to get godly counsel, and you want to listen to godly counsel and pull your emotions out of it. A lot of times we don't follow the counsel of wisdom because our emotions are in opposition to that. Okay, so mama say, leave that guy alone. He ain't got no job. He ain't got no prospects of having a job, and he don't look like he want a job. Leave him alone. But mama, I love him.
He cute.
Yeah, he gonna be something one day. He is going to be something. He's gonna be something. We don't know what he gonna be. He don't know what he gonna be. But your heart is in opposition to what your brain is telling you. And if you get into the habit of using your heart to make decisions, what happens is that your logic begins to take a back seat because you ain't listening to it anyway. And so now all the time you're making decisions, you're making decisions out of your emotion. Mm-hmm. And your emotions are going to lead you down a path of pain and destruction. Dun, 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 dun.
Not all that decided.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No. So if you are in a season of decisions, let us know. We want to hear about what it is that you're contemplating. Just tag it down in the comments section. We'd like to know.
Please. And each one of these videos we put on YouTube also. So if you wanted to watch them again, you can go to YouTube, or if you wanted to tell somebody about them, you can send them to our YouTube page. Yeah. This and that, or to our website.
Share it. We thank God for those who have been
thank
sharing.
You for sharing it.
We appreciate that. But we really want to hear from you guys to see, and not just to know for our own knowledge, but we want to be in prayer with you about any decisions that you are making, because we know that we rely on people praying for us.
I hope somebody praying for you.
Yeah, we do. We have people that
I hope you're praying good prayer. Don't be praying don't pray for my demise. Don't pray for my demise. Right. Okay.
So we appreciate the prayers that have come forth and the words of encouragement, but we want to hear, because I do believe that spiritually people are in transition.
Mm-hmm. And this is a season.
One season, it's a season of transition. I don't think that it's just us that we're going through this transition period. And I know that even our First Lady wrote a book about there's purpose in your pain. And so even when women go through the transition where they're giving birth, it's a very painful process. Mm-hmm. And so
I wouldn't know.
But you know that, you've been in that room. Even if I squoze your hand to break it, so there's a process in the transitioning, knowing that there's going to be joy on the other side, but how does it feel in the process? And so we want to join you in prayer so that we can connect our prayers to your prayers and pray that you get some success in your transition.
And it's important that you make the right decisions in this transitional period. Because the decisions may be far-reaching, mm-hmm. and the effects may last a lot longer than if you were just in a regular time in your life. During these transitional periods, you want to make sure that you get the right counsel,
right? That
you spend some time meditating on the Word, you spend some time in prayer, so that you can make the right decision, so that you can get the right outcome.
Yeah, and so the other part to that is I like to think about is that even if you do make a bad decision, that it's not unto death, so that you can get it right. A lot of times we do make mistakes. And so because we are partners in this, if he makes a mistake or if I make a mistake, it affects us both. So we don't condemn each other. We just get up from there and move on. How do we move on from here? I don't want people to live in condemnation. That if there is a mistake that is made or a bad decision that is made, it's not something that we can't recover from. We can always move on from there and learn from past mistakes so that we can move on together.
Yeah, because a bad decision is not the end all. The end all. Now, what you want to make sure is that you're not continuing to make bad decisions. You know, however, that once you make a wrong turn, every right turn takes you further away from that wrong turn.
Right.
And so it's important that even if you make that wrong turn, you say, you know what, let me do something different this time, and recognize that you made a wrong turn.
Right.
Don't sit there in the mud and say, it's going to be fine when it all dries up. No, you're in the mud. You know, get yourself cleaned up, get up, and let's start making some right decisions. And again, the more right decisions you make, the further you are away from those bad decisions.
Good job.
All right. So, that's it for today. Is that it for today?
Yeah, sounds good. We're in transition, guys. And I know somebody else is too.
Moving.
Caterpillar to
moving.
Caterpillar. Caterpillar
to butterfly.
Butterfly. That's transition.
You know, butterflies don't live that long.
Yeah, but we're not saying that. It's just, you know, we talked about the pregnant woman and transitioning. That's a transition piece. We're transitioning.
Butterflies don't live that long.
Okay, so transition.
Okay, all right, just transition.
Just transitioning.
Okay, we're transitioning.
Are you transitioning?
I don't want to be a butterfly.
Okay, he doesn't have to be a butterfly.
What eats butterflies? Some eat butterflies, don't they?
Oh, God.
Okay,
So
all
far
right.
off the topic.
Okay. Remember,
never give up.
Never give in.
And never, ever let go.
Don't be a butterfly.